Okay, everybody, I've got Miss Indian World 2005 here with me. We're delighted that she took a couple minutes here to talk to everybody on PowWows.com. So I wanted to ask her a couple questions. First of all, just tell us, where you're from and how you got to be Miss Indian World and what that's all about.
Well, hello, my name is Casey Thomas, yes, and I am from the Cattaraugus Indian Reservation of Western New York. It's about 45 minutes south of Buffalo, and I got to be Miss Indian World because I was the first Miss Seneca Nation, and part of that was if you won, you had to be in the Miss Indian World pageant. So the nation supported me. I had a committee helping me get prepared, which I really liked. They sat with me for hours in Starbucks because there's a 5-page personal essay you got to write. And they sat in there with me for a couple hours, and I would say stuff, and they would say, I don't think that sounds quite what you mean. They said, you should reword that. So they were really there. They paid for me to go. It was a lot, because it takes a lot, to get down there. And then it was just a whole, week's worth of pageantry. We had a personal interview, public speaking, a traditional talent, and a dance presentation, and plus the essay. And it was a lot of work. I mean, we were in there from the sun coming up at 8 in the morning, we'd start, and we wouldn't leave till like 10 at night. And it was over 12 hours of just doing the pageant. And you sat there and you just hang out with the girls in between. But we had a lot of fun. And one of the girls is here. She's the Ponca princess. So we came down and I was like, Autumn! And I was like, I knew you'd be here. So yeah, she's the only one I saw so far. Wow.
That's great. This was about, 4 weeks ago?
Yeah.
So have you been traveling a good bit since, or is this your first one since Miss Indian World?
I've been traveling around where I live, like doing some stuff there, but I was kind of finishing out my spring semester in school, so I was like, couldn't go anywhere because all my finals, I had a lot of final presentations and papers. It's like, first day back from the pageant, it was Tuesday, because we flew back Monday. Tuesday, I had a 20-minute presentation in my social psychology class. And I was like so freaked out, but I was doing something on the power of persuasion, and I was talking about how this is actually a form of persuasion. And I was like, there's two roots, central and peripheral, and peripheral is really like superficial, where it's like, pep rallies and, a lot of bright stuff like that. And I said, this is a really good example of peripheral persuasion. I said, it helps create a credible source. But I did a whole thing on this, so I was like, he really liked it too. I was showing, because a lot of people where I live, there's not too many natives up in New York. There's some, but if you're not living around the reservation, you don't see a lot of them. So, but other than that, I've just finished school. Now I'm off for the summer. I didn't go back for summer session because of this. Right. But I'm going back in the fall.
Okay.
So I'm traveling more now that the PowWows are kind of picking up more.
Well, where else can we expect to see you here soon?
Right now, for sure, probably the Oneida Powwow in Wisconsin. And after that, my PowWows, we have, my nation is having PowWows after that. And at Thunder Falls, which is by Niagara Falls, it's like right there. And then there's the Seneca Allegheny Casino Veterans Powwow, which is an hour south of me, and they're having a powwow down there too. So I love it because this year they split the northern and southern categories. So I was telling some of my friends who are from here, I was like, you gotta come up. They split the drum groups, they split the categories. They're like, oh well, maybe that, because you go up north and it's kind of hard, to talk. Yeah, but you see the difference, and it's like they get, I don't know, people kind of get, I don't know, it's a lot of fun though, and I really want them to come. So I was like, as soon as I saw them, here's the flyer, here's here's all the stuff, you gotta come. So they go, well, we probably make it up for one, but right now for sure those ones. After that, I was looking at the Mount Pleasant, probably Skimmets, and I go every year for that anyway, because I smoke dance usually. So Yeah, so that's 9 hours. Better than driving here for 18 plus. Oh yeah, we drove straight. We just decided to come on Monday, so we're like, yeah, let's go. So we got in the car and we left on Thursday, and we got here at 11:30 yesterday in the afternoon. I was like, I am beat. I said, after this though, everything won't be too bad. I think the driving won't be too bad.
Well, on the site we have a lot of young ladies who are princesses, and even a lot that are even talking about aspiring to be princesses and wanting to even run for Miss Indian World in the future. So what advice would you have for them?
Well, first, I would have to say you have to know who you are as a Native person, because how can you represent Native people if you're not connected with your cultural background? And there's so many people now who, because of no fault of their own growing up, they didn't have it. But, I was always raised that just because you never had it growing up doesn't mean you can't find your way back to it on your own. You're your own person. You've got to be responsible for that. So once you reach a certain age, you can't blame your surroundings anymore. You got to take the initiative to get back to where you come from. So I think that's the first thing that people have to understand is you got to know who you are. Otherwise, why would you say that? It's just like when people move from another country to America, they become American. They're not really what they were before because they don't have any of that cultural background that made them who they were before. So pretty much they're in the melting pot that America is. And it's sad that you just see more and more of our Native people becoming in the melting pot where they just don't know who they are anymore. And sometimes they don't even care, which really kills because all they want is money. And, it just hurts me to see it. And as the years go on, you see it more because they start having kids. And it's like, where I live, the older people are dying, and we don't have a really high fluency rate. So it's like there's just so many people who don't even care to know the language, don't even care to know who they are. And it's like, why do you want to be part of it? Be part of losing our people? Why would you want to be part of that? And I'll never understand it. But I think, being here, you see people who actually care about where you come from, and you're not going to let anybody tell you to feel bad for who you are. And I think that really makes me feel good to be around things like this, because we sit here in our outfits, and how they say what's your costume? We're like, it's not a costume. This is how we should be dressing every day, but we don't, because it would be kind of hard to get through life. People would be staring, and you wouldn't be able to work, and But I think that would be the first thing, though. Definitely, is know who you are, because you want to be able to represent the Native community as a Native person, knowing where you come from. And the second thing would be ability to speak, because there's a lot of public speaking, a lot of impromptu questions, and they really judge that because they want to see how you speak. Can you project your voice, and how do you interact with people? And it's like you got to be able to interact very well, because you meet a lot of people and you can't be shy. Otherwise, you're not going to get your message across. And you got to really be confident. Self-confidence is good, but not cocky. There's a fine line. But and I think just willingness to learn and openness. It's so easy also to get in your closed-minded, my way is right, your way is wrong. And you see that sometimes we get after each other too, like, oh, you're whatever nation, whatever, like these people say stuff like that. But I mean, it's one thing to joke about it, but it's another thing to say, well, your way is completely wrong and my way is right. So I think it's a lot of learning. You learn a lot, you'll meet a lot of people, so it's very just open, people person, willingness to learn and willingness to share, and the ability to listen, because not a lot of people can listen either. So to say it is a lot of work. I mean, if you think after you win, that's it, and once you're there, when you're in it, it's a lot. Like I said, it was over 12-hour days sitting there, a lot of talking, a lot of waiting. We got in trouble a lot because we would just laugh, giggling in the back, and I was like, well, I said, you're getting like 28 girls together, and I said, you're making us wait for a good hour. What do you think we're going to do, sit here? I said, oh, we were in the back. and the committee people kept shushing us because we called it the final four, the last four people in the line, and I was number 27 out of 28, and we were in the back, and we kept getting shushed because we were in the back just giggling to ourselves, and then they're like, girls, shh, and we're like, oh, and then you want to laugh even more because you can't, so it was, I don't know, I should be acting that way. I'm like 24 years old, I need to, talking about growing up, but yeah, that's really a tangent. That was what really I think though was the public speaking and.
Well, thank you so much. We appreciate you coming on and saying hello to everybody. And thank you for being a role model for Indian country. And we wish you well in your year and your future after you leave school. You're in school for?
I'm going for human sexuality and gender researching. I want to research like what happens in your brain and your body and like personal relationship stuff between people and also like the gender differences. Because there's so many stereotypes about, you know, this like gender, you know, where like I said, you know, we see so much where men are placed in a position above women, and it's like, well, men aren't necessarily better, but women aren't better. That's something I really want, but the only way people believe it is if they see facts and numbers and scientific research to back it up. So that's something that I really wanted to be part of, was researching that there's few differences, and you know, I want to research of all things, you know, our people's sexualities, you know, like when you love someone, what happens in your brain, and you know, why do people do this in relationships? All like there's a lot of stuff you can research in it, but I just love it, and that's what I really want to do right now. So, but I am kind of getting more into the social psychology thing the more I learn about it. So I don't know, I'm kind of tossing it up now. But yeah, I'm in school. So I'm going to go back, and I'm still going in the fall. But I think next fall I'm going to transfer to Syracuse because they have one of my program, because it's not very easily found because it's still kind of new, you know. Sexuality is real taboo with people, and it's like, well, it happens. I was like, that's why you and I are here, you know. We just didn't come out of nowhere. So I was like, that's something I think we need to talk about, and it should be discussed. You know, knowledge is something that we prize. Why would this be an exception? You know, so that's something that I really look forward to doing. But I don't want to take up any more.
Oh no, we appreciate you. Were there any questions online, Kelly?
No.
We have a chat going, so I don't know if anybody out there was. But we appreciate you coming by and talking with us. And again, we wish you luck, and hope to see you down the road sometime.
Oh yeah, definitely, probably. I know I got to find something to eat.